Hey Busters, it's Azmyth. This is the first of a few series of character build kind of short videos that I wanted to do specifically for you guys and to get us in the groove of doing this thing. I'm going to meet with each of my players one at a time, and we're going to talk about the character concept that they plan to bring to the game, talk a little bit about their personalities, introduce you to both the character and the player, and riff on it a little bit. And then we're going to show you a little bit of Chris's build for his character to wrap up this segment. So first off, welcome my dear friend, and I'm very excited to have you in this game, Mr. Hockabout. I'm pleased to have you in. Chris has decades of pedigree in developing video games. I'm pretty sure if you're a nerd and you've played an RPG style video game in the last 10 years, there's a real good chance that that man has had his fingers in it. So he comes with a lot of experience as well as a longtime RPG world builder and system builder himself. So excited to have Chris here. All right, so let me shut up and let's talk a little bit about the process, about your excitement with the system, and then tell me about your build.
One thing I really liked about Pathfinder 2 is the way it tries to weave in actual sort of like character background and information and sort of like the life of the character before they became an adventurer, and holistically it all brings it together to sort of like create the character that you're ultimately going to play. It's not always just reduced down to your race and your class, you know. It's where were you born, and what is your focus, what is your personal interest, and I love how they bring that all together, and game mechanics that actually feed into role playing, as opposed to this is a power that does X damage and causes X effect, is much more interesting to me than like I said, just like something that's purely for a combat application and has no other use. Now, as you recall, the character I played in your last game was the edgiest of edgelords, you know. Classic orphan on a path of vengeance. You know, he had a decent arc where he managed to develop and kind of like, you know, think about more than just himself and stuff, and that was great. But still, I wanted to create a character that was like the antithesis of that. Not an orphan, but the middle child of a large family. Not shiftless, but from a family that has firm roots in its hometown, and not a glum, grim sort of downer, but a effervescent, friendly, engaging personality, kind of like a chum to everybody. And so the character I've conceived of, well, I wanted to create a social butterfly. I wanted to create a raconteur. I wanted to create someone who was like the loudest voice in the tavern, you know, and I didn't want it to be a rogue, and I didn't want it to be a bard. That seemed very obvious. And one of the things I love about Pathfinder 2 in terms of paladins, and I love paladins actually, is that they opened up the alignment spread for paladins. And they made it broader. They made it the champion. And
out with the paladin, in with the champion.
Yeah, if you can still be a paladin, that's a lawful good champion. And in my case, and I wanted to create a chaotic good champion, which is known as a liberator, of the god of lucky drunks, Caden Kalian. And so you can have a champion of a god whose whole sort of thing is like, I became a god. I don't know exactly how I did it, but now I'm a god now. And someone who's more about having fun and righting wrongs, and like, you know, he really observes only really two sort of like main tenets, which is to defend the powerless from the powerful, and to never let an injustice go by unchallenged. And that's essentially how he lives his life.
A chaotic liberator who fights for justice.
Yeah, and fights for the little guy. And at the same time, though, you know, he comes from a family of tavern owners. In fact, his family still owns a tavern, and his mother manages it. His father is like a brewmaster.
I can relate.
So yeah, his mother does the books, and his dad brews the house ale.
Fantastic.
And then he's got big brothers and little brothers, and they're all one happy family. And his name is Daisy Dillon because my mother, Daisy's her favorite flower, and when I popped out, she says, "Well, this baby's pretty as a daisy," and that's where my name came from. Friends call me Days. Sometimes they call me Dill. Sometimes they call me Dillon. But if you know me real well, you call me my full name, Daisy Eucephalus Dillon. So
Eucephalus Dillon.
yes. And so I have a pretty clear idea. Is a human. We're using the heritage, the varied or versatile heritage. And so the versatile heritage feat, the heritage feat I've selected for him is encouraging words, which allows him to say nice things to his friends when they're down, and that will bring them up, because that's perfectly in line with kind of where I saw him.
Right. How does just to give you just a question, throw it in there. How does Daisy sit with the whole consumption of alcohol thing that seems to be ever present in anyone involved with Caden Kalian? Does he downplay that a little bit, or is that going to be a strong suit as well?
Oh, are you kidding? He in keeping with his idea of being a liberator, liberation can be applied to a lot of things. Be liberated from sobriety, liberated from your cares, liberated from your present reality. And alcohol, in fact, any sort of mind-altering substance is perfectly cool by him. In fact, his long-term goal is to there's a thing, I'm making this up, but there's a thing about among worshippers of Caden Kalian, at least within his region, that every worshipper of Caden Kalian, champions in particular, are seeking to brew that perfect drink. It could be a spirit, it could be an ale, and if they create that perfect brew, that perfect beverage, Caden Kalian himself will grace you with his presence and sample the beverage.
Wow.
And give that his seal of approval.
That's
and that's the belief. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, my uncle, that happened to Caden Kalian." Yeah. Well, everyone's got a story about this. No one can ever corroborate whether it's factual or not, but that's the general belief. And so
it's less about seeking the Holy Grail and seeking what you put inside of it.
Yeah, it's
delicious.
Daisy is going to be always on the hunt for that perfect key ingredient to brew the ale, because everyone in his family is an ale brewer or mead brewer or a vintner, going way back. And that's why the background, and I love this, the background that I selected for him was barkeep. So he's got lore on alcoholic lore, and he's got the hobnobber feat, which allows you to essentially insert yourself into social situations and gather information kind of in a garrulous,
so you said
way.
His background is barkeeper then, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so barkeeper is his background, and then from his background, that generates a feat for him. And that's what you were saying. That's what you were saying was, one more time, what was it?
The hobnobber feat.
Hobnobber. Again, the gift of gab.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. A very social champion. That's
very
exciting, because usually paladins, well, they get a bad reputation. They get pigeonholed into a pretty tight lane over the years of role playing, and the Dudley Do-Rights of paladins have kind of have been dominant in that field. So I'm excited to see where you're going to take a chaotic champion. I was a little interested when you said that he's he fights for justice. And he fights, and I guess that's the good side rather than the lawful side coming through.
Yeah.
He fights to protect.
Well, it's about ensuring, from his perspective, and the perspective I believe from the champions of Cade and Kalian, is that throughout history, people without power, disenfranchised people, have always been the victims of control and injustice and cruelty at the hands of those with power, and that is anathema to champions of Cade and Kalian. Everyone in their belief has the freedom of self-determination, and to take that away from them is a sin and must be challenged. Now, they're not against laws. In the best application of laws are intended to protect the powerless from the powerful. And so he's perfectly fine. He's like, if that law's working, I'm cool with it. If it's obviously a vehicle for tyranny, then I'm against it. And it's pretty clear where that distinction lies. You can kind of tell if a law is being used to oppress as opposed to defend.
Clearly not a fan of the Hell Knight orders.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
All right, very cool, very cool. So we are playing the Fall of Plaguestone, and as you know, the adventure starts in a caravan between let's see here. You are traveling to the name of the city is Etrin's Folly. Have you decided why is Daisy traveling on this caravan to Etrin's Folly? Clearly, he's not a local, so he's returning back to it, or coming to it for the first time.
Well, it was funny when you said that the game was taking place in Andoran, and I'm a Galarian nut. I love the world, and so I know a lot about Andoran. And I hadn't actually chosen a home country for Daisy when I made him, but the freedom-loving and liberty espousing people of Andoran just is a perfect fit for him. He could be from what's the name of the town again?
Isgur. Isgur is the kingdom that Etrin's Folly is actually in.
Oh, okay.
The trade route is returning from Andoran, from the capital of Andoran, from Ulmus, going up to Eladir, which is the capital of Isgar. And Etrin's Folly is southeast of Elendar, some miles south of it. So it's along that route. So being from Andoran would be perfect. Would work perfectly for it. All right, fantastic. Anything else we should know about Mr. Dillon? Does Mr. Dillon get upset when if anybody ever gives him any shit about his name sounding like a girl? Does he take it in stride, or is he one of these lines where, a man named Sue kind of thing?
Imagine a barrel-chested Kurt Russell in his prime in the 80s with flowing chestnut hair, a beard, and a loud booming voice.
So we're talking pre-Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You cannot get him down. And you make fun of his name, he'll laugh it off and easily kind of point out your own sort of like faults, and then but then of course buy you a drink and try to make you a friend. It's hard to it'll be kind of hard to stay mad at Daisy Dillon, and it's like, you don't like my name, take it up with my mom, she chose it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So let's talk about your ability scores. We're not going to get into a bunch of crunch about the characters, but I would like to at least introduce some of the concepts, or at least let people know how we're doing it for our campaign.
Yeah.
So we're not using dice to roll up our character scores. We're doing the ability score overview method, which is all scores start off with a base 10.
Right.
Then based on your ancestry that you pick, you get an ability boost and sometimes an ability flaw. In Pathfinder 2, an ability boost is 2 points that you can add to that stat, where a flaw is 2 points you take away.
Mhm.
So your ancestry is going to doll out some of those. I believe for humans, you get the choice to put it where you want it.
So first boost goes to charisma.
All right, so 2 points to charisma.
Yep.
Takes your 10 up to a 12.
And the flaw is in intelligence.
Okay.
Not, most of my brothers are smarter than me. I'm not, I know what I need to know. But
I'm the friendly one. I'm not the smart one.
Yeah. Well, I was heffing kegs, not doing the books with my mom.
Right. All right. So moving on. So that's your ancestry. That's great. Moving on to your background. Your character background provides 2 ability boosts.
Yeah.
Where would you like to put your background boost?
One in con and the other again in charisma.
All right. Charisma to 14 and con to 12.
Yep.
All right. And then finally, we jump to your class. As a champion, you apply 4. Your character's class provides an ability boost to the ability score most important to the class, called your key ability score. So what is the key ability score? So charisma is 14. Charisma goes up to 14 and constitution to 12. So for your champion, what is your key ability score?
I believe it is charisma for the.
Is it? Okay.
Champion.
All right. So charisma bumps to 16 with your class ability score. And last but not least, your final step is you get to apply 4 more ability boosts of your choice. And then when we're done with that, that will tell us what your modifiers finally are.
All right.
Charisma is up to 16 now. We got 2 more on charisma.
Yeah.
From the character ability boost. Thank you. And then now you've got 4 blocks of 2 to apply.
Yeah. So of those 4,
got to take charisma up to 18, right?
Yeah.
All right. So 18 is the highest stat that you can have as a character.
And then 1 more in con and the other 2 in strength.
Con to 14 and strength to 14 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy. 14 strength, 10 dex, 14 con, 8 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and an 18 charisma. That's looking like a pretty badass champion. So the modifiers for Pathfinder 2, for that 14, you're going to pull a +2 strength.
Mm-hmm.
Dexterity is flat at 0. 14 con gives you another +2 bonus. That 8 will pull you a -1. Wisdom of 10 is flat, and your 18 pulls you a +4. All right, sweet. So there's your stats. We've got your background. We've got your ancestry. We've got your class. You've already got your concept in play. You've already got your baseline feats in play. What else should we know about Daisy Dillon before we actually see him in action?
Well, what is it? The chosen weapon that I'm required to take for a champion of Caden Kalian is the rapier.
Oh.
So he wields a rapier. They have a cool effect though that the damage die on their chosen weapon gets bumped up a level. So his D6 goes up to a D8 for the rapier. And he just calls it the pig sticker.
He calls it the pig sticker.
Yeah.
Hilarious. All right. Well, cool. I think we have a pretty strong grasp on your champion.
Mm-hmm.
I am digging him. I am looking forward to seeing the visuals that you're going to bring to play. Knowing you, you're probably going to draw your character.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. You've been known to bust out.
I had one, like, he's actually, where is it?
Chris does amazing portraits.
Where'd it go? God damn it. Oh, here it is.
And like many artists, we're not organized.
This was upside down. God damn it. So the character of Dillon actually has a bit of a
You're going to feature something? All right, I'm going to put you in the big spot and feature for you.
All
right,
this was the original visual for the character, but I decided to make him more hirsute, longer hair, a beard, and it really basically looking like imagine Kurt Russell's character of MacReady from my favorite movie, The Thing, except he's happy and not being hunted by an alien shapeshifter. But that was sort of like, that was the original concept.
Yeah.
Dillon.
See that shit? That dude draws some pretty fucking mean portraits. I like it. I like it a lot.
So
that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. I don't know. We might have to lean on you to get some drawing done for this group.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, I guess this is right around where we wanted to be, just under half an hour, riffing about your character. Keep your eye on all the channels and subscribe to the channel, like the videos. There will be more of these character riffings happening with all the players. You're going to get to meet all the players individually. And then right after those are all posted, we are going to record our session 0, which you're going to get to see how I bust out a session 0 and how we establish that social contract at the table so that we're the same kind of game that we want to play. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I know the production crew, the people playing, myself, we are fucking over the moon with this. So excited. And that's that. I look forward to bringing you an amazing game. So tune in for Azmyth Busters. Thanks, Chris. See you soon.
Thank you. All right. Bye.